It was raining that morning, about 10:45, and I decided to come up to the third floor. And I got up here, and it's dark, and I heard some noise back here in this part of the building. It sounded like a woman crying. I went to check it out, didn't see anything. Then it back over there again, so I went back over there the second time, and I tripped over a ladder that was leaning up against the wall, and then I heard the noise again. I come over here, and I'm walking toward the front of the building, and it felt like somebody tapped me on the shoulder. Just scared me a little bit. I jumped, and I thought it was my coworker. And then when I went to turn back to look out the window, I noticed an envelope hanging between the ceiling and the wall. I got the ladder that I'd tripped over earlier. I tried to get the envelope, and it felt so dry I was afraid I'd break it. There's a hole between the joists. I pulled myself up, and I was on my hands and knees. I took my flashlight shining around. There's all kinds of stuff up there, clothing, utensils. Meanwhile, I put my hand on a piece of metal, and I went to move it out of my way, and when I moved it, I turned it over, and it was Mrs. Soldier's office. And I can't say anything about it, because if I do, it'll be destroyed. I kept it to myself. I packed it up, and I took it home, and I took it and put it in a safe deposit box. The next day I came to work, and I was up here with the project manager. He wanted to fix a hole in the fence over here where somebody cut open. I was asking him what they were going to do with this. He said, we're going to tear it down. But I found something in this building that relates it to a very important time in our history and a very important person. He said, get rid of it, throw it away. If anybody knows anything about Clara in that time period, they know who Ed Shaw was. So I used his name. I called hundreds of people. And then one morning I was at work, and my wife calls me. She says, there's a man here by the name of Gary Scott called and wants to talk to Ed Shaw. So I got the number, I called him back, and he wanted to know what's going on here and everything, and I told him. I sent him copies of some of the stuff that I'd found, especially the sign. I went and had it, put plastic on it so it wouldn't scratch the glass, and Xeroxed it. And he calls back, he said, it's the real thing. He says, when can I see it? I said, as soon as this building's saved. He made arrangements to come in here. I knew what day they were coming, and I called Channel 9. He said, yeah, we got somebody to do that story. And he calls, leaves a message, says, I don't know who called the media. He said, but they were there. He's all excited. And he says, I put the building on endangered buildings list. That's what saved it. When I finished with Gary Scott turning stuff over to him, he put it on display at the Ford's Theater. I told him, I said, I don't want my name mentioned. He said, I won't have to tell him sooner or later. He said, I want to write a story about Clara Barton. I mention your name. I said, okay. So he wrote it for Civil War News. The article says, in my book, he was a hero. There was a bunch of historians here one time, and one lady said, well, you're the hero. I said, no, I'm not the hero. So you discovered this? I said, yes. I said, but I'm not the hero. Well, who is? I said, Clara Barton. Nobody could have done what she has done. Clara proved many times what impact one person could do. I was determined that Clara would be recognized. That was my mission I went on. But when you all come over and took over the building, my mission was over.